What is good, guys? What is good? Inter won, Roma nil. We did it. We won a big game. Christian Kivu finally won a big game. We won a big game. It's been a while since we won a big game in Serie A. It feels nice. Did we deserve it? Did Inter deserve it? I think the draw, I'll be honest, I'll be real with you guys. I think the draw was the right result today. I don't think Inter deserved the win. We had chances to bury it after 1-0. Could have been 2-0, could have been 3-0, but at the same time, Dovbik missed the empty goal. Roma had plenty of chances. Yann Sommer had to come up big a few times. But this is how it's been this season, right? Sometimes, or we've been punished more than we should have been against maybe Udinese, Juventus, right? The XG of the other teams were low, but we got punished. We didn't take our chances. So today, this is one of my favorite. These types of wins are some of my favorite wins. These gritty, difficult, where you might feel like they didn't really deserve it. But these are the wins where I feel like the team will grow the most from. These are the types of wins where I think Kiva will grow the most from, that Kiva will be proud of. Yes, we weren't that great, especially second half. First half, very good first, probably 25, 30 minutes. Really good. Very solid. Roma created barely anything, but afterwards, oof, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. We had to clench our behinds, our bottoms till the end. But in the end, clean sheet away at the Olympico, and our record, amazing record away at the Olympico continues. I think that's 4 or even 5 maybe wins in a row away at the Olympico. I might have to double check, but it's definitely minimum 4 because we saw it was at least 3, right, in the match preview. So, and yeah, Gasperini, he is our, as Matthias puts it there, I don't need to say it. If it's Atalanta, if it's Roma, it seems like Gasperini, as much as he hates us, as much as he wants to beat us, he just can't do it. Even though today, actually, this is probably the closest he's come to do it since his Atalanta days. Of course, Atalanta beat us sometimes, but in general, especially recent periods, Atalanta just couldn't beat Inter. This is actually probably the closest he's come to in recent years to beating us. But unlucky Gasp. Kivu, same as Inzaghi, has got one over you. And yes, and Yann Bonny. Of course, we're going to talk about Bonny. He keeps going. He keeps on going. He keeps punishing Serie A teams, and he keeps proving that when Marcus Thuram isn't there, we have a guy that we can rely on. The Vice Thuram is here. Oh, what a performance, guys. What a performance. Let me shout out everyone in here. 114 people. Wow, that is a lot more people than I thought today. Thank you for coming through. If you don't mind, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're going to talk about Mickey. It's a massive, massive performance by Mickey. Guys, I do not want to see, definitely on the goal, he should score, Mickey, like Mkhitaryan, please, brother, please. We are on our knees. You don't need to go find back your Dortmund form or your, Shakhtar Donetsk form, or even at some point the Man United, Arsenal, or the Roma form. We just needed to find just like a few more goals a season. I don't want, the Dortmund 15 goals, 15 assists season. Just like 2 or 3 goals, and that would be perfect. Mkhitaryan, you're literally the perfect mezzala if you can just do that. Because today, guys, if you're going to criticize, I'll tell you now, I have not seen the rest of the comments. I'm just right at the top right now. But if I see slander on Mkhitaryan outside of the shooting, outside of the goal scoring, I'm not even bringing up your comment on screen. I just completely, wholeheartedly will disagree with you today on the Mkhitaryan, whoever you are. If you don't like that Mkhitaryan performance, again, outside of the goal scoring, the final third part, I will agree with you there. But outside of that, go back and watch the game and watch Mkhitaryan on and off the ball. That was a lesson for mezzale. If you're a mezzala, if you're a midfielder in a 3, the left centre mid, right centre mid of a 3, that is a lesson of how to play that position on and off the ball, the tactical, the way that he was positionally there, and the stamina, the athleticism, the way he carried the ball as well against the sexy name that is Manu Kone, the guy that we all want to replace Mkhitaryan that we wanted. That is probably outright is too high a price for us now anyway. But I don't think Mkhitaryan was outshone today by Manu Kone. I think Mkhitaryan went band for band, blow for blow with Manu Kone out there. And I don't want to see slander for Mkhitaryan because that guy today, up until the last moment, up until the final whistle, he was working his dick off. His off. Mattia, huge win. We need to do the same against Napoli if we want to keep up with air conditioner. If you don't know, Napoli actually dropped points. I watched Torino versus Napoli, and Torino. Giovanni Simeone, for once in his life, did something good. For once in his life, he did something useful for me. Giovanni Simeone. And he scored against Napoli, which means they dropped points, which means Inter are top of the league. We're top of the league, boys. Of course, I'm not going to start singing Capolista Se ne va or anything like that. Of course, and we're waiting for Milan to play tomorrow against Fiorentina, which I'm expecting them to get 3 points with Fiorentina. Absolutely useless at the moment. But things have recovered. Since that Juve game, literally since that Juve game, 4 wins on the trot. But we've got still tricky fixtures upcoming, but it's nice to see a recovery. And yeah, I think this Roma team as well, like I talked about it in the preview, they should have been beaten. Like, I feel like there was a lot of overperformance, a little bit of overperformance from this Roma team at the start of this season. Black Blue Legacy is showing that love for Mickey. He's showing the reason why he still holds a starting spot in this team. What a performance today. Thank you. And Yann Sommer, another guy who, of course, is probably not as much as Mkhitaryan, but I think the fan base is kind of like Pep Martinez should be starting more and more and more. But today, Yann Sommer showed that he is still, yes, he had a drop-off for sure in that Juve game, absolute clanger. But since then, he's also recovered since that Juve game. I don't think we deserve that win. Matteo agrees with me, but we definitely deserve a win like that considering happening with previous games. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mattia, for reminding us about that. And yeah, if you saw how Sucic came on, if you're going to talk about Mkhitaryan, I think how does Sucic come on today? Guys, how many players has it been now? Mkhitaryan is the Mezzala killer. It was supposed to be, who was it? Frattesi. It was supposed to be Zielinski. It's supposed to be now Sucic. But Mkhitaryan just continues. He's like, remember where it was the D'Ambrosio joke? It used to be the D'Ambrosio killer, that meme that people used to make. Every wing back that comes, or every right back that comes, D'Ambrosio, boom, head off, he's gone. This is Mkhitaryan now with all the Mezzalas that we sign. It's like he's gonna take over from Mkhitaryan. That's it. This is the end of Mkhitaryan. I'm afraid to say, and I said it at the start of the season, right? That meme, the hand on shoulder meme with Mkhitaryan and Kivu. Oh, I should really save that so I can use this on these streams. But that is literally what is happening since the start of the season. Sucic had a great start at the first game against Torino. Then since then, it's kind of been like, he's been okay. But you need something special to really take out Mkhitaryan from the starting 11. Really, really need something special. Inter lacked the verticality and attack today. Definitely after the first 30 minutes, as we said, the first 30 minutes was good. Afterwards, yeah, we just kept inviting pressure, more and more pressure from Roma, and luckily we didn't concede. But I think Kivu, when he looks back at his game, when the boys look back at his game, they're not going to be very happy here. Positivity FC in the house. Thank you very much, Eduardito, for the donation and the support as always. It does feel good to be first again. Of course, it's temporary for the moment, but it feels good. Not convincing performance, but it feels good. Multi Borilla says Mickey plays well. I must admit, maybe he's a Mkhitaryan doubter. No, I know, 100%. He's frustrating when it comes to that final bit, but what he does everywhere else, yeah, like Tom says, He's done a deal with the devil. We used to joke that he has under Inzaghi that he has some sort of suspicious video on Inzaghi, maybe, behind the scenes. He's managed to acquire some video that Inzaghi doesn't want the world to see, and Mkhitaryan is blackmailing him. Or, as Tom says, he's done a deal with the devil because he is always guaranteed a starting spot and this eternal stamina. Yeah, it must have been like we said it, like he's learned this new role. He went from being a winger / attacking midfielder to this mezzala role. And he says it himself, it's almost like he sacrificed his final ball as well. Like, he used to get a lot of assists as well, Mkhitaryan, like through balls, creativity. He sacrificed that, but it seems like the devil was like, I can make you the complete mezzala, but apart from the goal scoring, but I can guarantee you're going to be the starter. That was the deal that he made with the devil, and you're going to have unlimited stamina if you keep sucking on the blood of Inzaghi and Kivu. But that's the thing. If Mkhitaryan has that, guys, he's literally the best midfielder in the world. He's like, well, he's Pedri level, Bellingham level. If he's got all of that. Conte style win, yeah. These are the types of win that I used to love getting under Antonio Conte, or even under Inzaghi in the second star season. Kind of scrappier wins, ugly wins where we probably didn't deserve it. But yeah, this is a big game. But of course, we can never be satisfied, can we? But Roma is a big game, of course. But I think what we want is definitely a win against Milan. We haven't got against Juve, but against Napoli, right? Like, yes, now finally we got a big team win, but can we take it to the big teams? The team that is going to be competing against us for the Scudetto. Because I think, as I said, to me, Roma, they've done well. I think there has been a bit of overperformance from them. I don't expect Roma to be competing for the Scudetto with us. I think it would be Milan and Napoli and Milan. Those are, I think, for me at the moment, obviously it's too early to tell, but just because Milan, because of the one game a week, we know the effect of that. Defensively, they're going to be super solid. And Napoli, obviously, the champions, Conte, all of that. I don't see Roma being challengers. And I think, they should be happy. Top four. They haven't had top four for a long, long time. I know Wayne, who I had on for the match preview, he's a very positive, he's positivity FC of Roma. So he was, he was like, yeah, I'm believing in the Scudetto, I'm positive. But I think realistically, they basically, again, they've got 0 goals this season from their strikers. I don't think Evan Ferguson scored yet. I don't think Dovbyk scored in the league. Or maybe he's got one, but you can't be challenging for a Scudetto if you don't even have a proper striker. And the Gasparini team has only scored 7 goals from 7 games. That's unseen, and only conceded 3 goals. So at some point, I think things will level out for Roma, but definitely still a very important win. I don't want to downgrade it now just because now we beat them. It's like, oh yeah, Roma. We'll see. I might be wrong. They might be challenging us for the Scudetto until the end. Grain Kaiju says Mickey presence is so impactful. Yeah, let's have a look at it. Let's dive into some of the stats as well now of some of the individual players, because Mickey 8.2 here. Oh, he even hit that one where I didn't realize he actually hit the post. I thought it went just wide, but it says he actually hit the post. The one here, man, this guy, yeah, 2 shots, 0 on target, 62 touches, 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. Look at this: 4 tackles, 1 block, 2 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 3 interceptions, 6 recoveries, dribble pass was 7 out of 10, ground duels won, 2 out of 3 aerial duel won. This is literally, again, aside from the final bit in the opposition box, this is a complete midfielder performance. Yeah, he is the Energizer Bunny. He is, I think, more. It used to be the name for Barella. I used to call Barella the Energizer Bunny, but over the years, I think because he's been so overused and used like a sponge and dried up by Conte, by all the Italian national team coaches, Inzaghi. Um, he doesn't have this. He doesn't seem to have the same amount of zip and energy in his game. Whereas Mkhitaryan now, he's retired from Armenian national duty. He gets his one game a week, and once, one after the international break, this is Mkhitaryan with 2 weeks of break, so he's got full fuel in the tank. Forza Benjamin, thank you very much for the support. We need Kone to bench Mickey. Yeah, literally. That is what literally the one name that could bench Mkhitaryan in this league, probably. Maybe Kefren Taram and Manu Kone. I think those are the two names that can bench Henrik Mkhitaryan realistically, and obviously both of those we're not able to buy because Juve are not going to sell Kefren Taram to us, and as Wayne said on the preview, the Romanista, a Roma fan said, with Kone now, we're talking about more than 40, 50 million probably. You're talking about PSG or one of those Premier League teams buying him. So that shows you the level of Mkhitaryan. And of course, a Sucic, like he was against Torino, can bench Mkhitaryan. But again, Sucic is in his learning phase, in his growing phase. Frattesi had a decent cameo. I mean, in terms of battling and like running around, yes. But as usual, I haven't looked yet, but I can bet you something really silly. Like, I don't know. I'll shave my head to 0 if Frattesi completed more than 50% of passing, Matteo. So let's have a look of where Frattesi. So there you go. I don't need to shave my head to 0. He completed 0 passes out of 2 attempted, and he was on for, how long was he on for? He was on for half an hour, and he didn't complete 1 pass. That is, even for Davide Frattesi, that is a record. That is a record, even for Davide Frattesi. 6 touches, 0 passes completed. But yeah, he won his aerial duels, and he was alright. He was kind of brought on as he wasn't really brought on as a midfielder. It looked like he was brought on actually up front, and I think I saw that again against Cremonese. I think it was where Frattesi came on as a striker, because at the moment, of course, we're one striker down with Thuram out. And we've been saying for a few years that maybe Frattesi should be even tested out as a striker, because he just, a lot of the times, he doesn't seem to be able to pick up positions in midfield, especially when he comes on as a substitute. You just bring him on as an impact striker, maybe. And I think this is what Kivo has been doing with him. Wow, for Lorenzo. Fun fact, this is Gasperini's. Wow, he is our bitch. I'm sorry, Gasp. You are our bitch. 9th loss in a row. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy. Not even one. Like, we're just punching the brother and he's down on the floor and we're kicking him down on the floor. He's not even protecting his face. Like, protect your face at least, bro. This is like Khabib in the MMA when he was there. It was like, talk now, brother. Talk now. This guy is just getting absolutely destroyed. What's up, Language Tours? Hope you're doing well, man. Feels like we didn't win any big games last season. Yeah, pretty much, bro. We didn't win. Well, we won against Roma last season as well. So we won away to Roma last season. But it just, the feeling of last season, it felt like big games. It just, you just didn't have a good feeling last season with Inter in big games. Bonny reminds me of David Suazo with his pace and strength. Yeah, David Suazo. If you guys don't know, back in the mid 2000s, when did we sign in David Suazo? Yeah, I can see the comparison, but I think he's much more technically superior to David Suazo. This is for you guys who might obviously too young for this. Honduras, La Pantera Nera, I think they used to call him, right? The Panther, La Pantera. How many games did he play for Inter? Yeah, only 27 actually. It's a lot less than I thought. For 3 years there, yeah, he was basically a super sub kind of player. 27 appearances, 8 goals. He was very good for Cagliari. Very, very good for Cagliari. Probably not up to the level of Inter, but yeah, I see the comparison. But Bonny is way more technical than David Suazo. What's up, Imran? Hope you are doing. Give us the bold uncle. No. But he made the assist to Mickey. Oh yeah. I think because that was I think it was deflected by the player. I think it was the Cristante. So I guess that kind of counts. But it was a deflected pass. That was the good impact from Frattesi. Yeah, he was a little bit better defensively. I agree. Um, Pata podcast. Make sure you check him out. He also makes inter content on YouTube. Um, he is one of the Mkhitaryan doubters, and he has to concede today on the Mkhitaryan supremacy. Suazo was a flop. Yeah, he cost quite a bit, if I remember. He cost us like 20 plus million, I think, back in the day, which was no, maybe not at that much. Let's have a look. 14 million euros. Yeah, which was quite expensive for back in the day. Yeah, but he's one of those players, like, he's 3 years there, barely played. He was a flop, but I think he's one of those guys that you don't really look back with like anger. He's not like a Joaquin Correa type of flop where you just look back and you're like, oh, he's just like ruined our life. Bonny is more Martins than Suazo, but yeah, again, even with compared to Martins, I feel like Bonny is just a lot less. I think both Martins and Suazo had a lot more goal threat than Bonny, and Bonny, like, we'll get into his goal. Even today, like, his finish wasn't a very convincing finish. Like, I feel like Bonny really needs to spend hours in the training ground working on his finishing, but I don't want to get into that right now after he scored the goal that is giving us the 3 points today. Frattesi forgot how to pass. Mickey forgot how to score. Something magic happens at Appiano Gentile. Yeah. Let me get into some the screenshots. So kind of a review of the game. What a start! What a start this was. How many of you guys thought this was offside? I thought it was offside. I was like, why is Bonny even celebrating, bro? Like, they're gonna cancel this. But I was glad that he continued playing, because sometimes, when there's this chance like that, because it looks so clearly off, players sometimes even stop playing. They start thinking that it's offside. He could have squared it to Di Marco, who was right there. He looked like he was kind of half. He took like a touch, and then he took an extra touch, which I thought, oh no, what are you doing, bro? Indica almost caught up to him, and then finished near post. It was Villa, who will be very, very disappointed at himself for letting that go near post. But great, fantastic start by Inter and Bonny. And the run was great. I have to give that credit to him, at least. The timing of the run. And thank you, Zeki Celik, for keeping him onside. Because in real time, it looked like it was offside, but actually it was narrowly onside, thanks to Zeki Celik's left foot. What's up, Tanbir? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, technically Bonny is way better than both Suazo and Ober Martins. Yeah. Suazo came with high hopes from Cagliari. If we only had paid 40 million for Correa, would be less man. No. A flop is a flop, Mike Jerome. Obviously, the money makes it worse if it's a high signing. But to me, I always say this: whether you're a free transfer, whether you're a product from the academy, or you're an expensive player, at the end of the day, on the pitch, to me, they're all the same. Like, once you're the starting 11, or you're one of the guys that comes on for Inter, for FC Internazionale Milano, afterwards, I judge them all the same. Afterwards, we can discuss, analyze, the price per performance ratio, how much this guy earns, how much this guy. But it doesn't matter if you were free, if your nonna was Interista, your grandfather was Interista, you're Interista, your babies are Interisti. What you do out there on the pitch, that's what we judge you on. And Correa, even if he was a free transfer, he would have still been a massive, 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 massive flop. It looked like Bonny thought he was off because he wasn't so confident going forward yet. But also, of course, shout out to Barella. That was the man who made the pass. And it was awful pressing, but awful positioning, all from Roma, because they had this is a cardinal sin in terms of football tactics, what Roma did here. They had a super high defensive line, but they weren't pressing. You let, of all players in the world, have Nico Barella have all the time and space to pick a pass. Awful, awful here from Roma. And that's, they didn't really make too many mistakes in this game, Roma, but Gasperini will be fuming that this was the mistake that cost him the game. And it was 5 minutes in. But yeah, beautiful ball from Barella, great run from Bonny. As you can see at the top of your screen on the right is Zeki Celik keeping Bonny just onside. Both Ndika and Hermoso, sorry, I think it's Mancini. Hermoso is the one that's gone to try and half-heartedly press Barella, which shows you Gasperini's man-to-man press is crazy. But yeah, Mancini and Ndika in no man's land. And yeah, assist from Barella, chef kiss. I saw one Roma doing late offside trap, so I thought he was on. He was just run, so someone screamed on TV. Yeah. Correa performed better than Suarez though, based on the numbers. I don't think did Correa even get to how many Suarez? Oh yeah, I guess Correa. Yeah, but I mean he played way more games than than Suarez. If we average them out, the game goal per game ratio, I'm pretty sure Suarez did way better. So that was the goal. And then, here is the continued pressure from Inter. So Bastoni wins the ball super high up. Speaking of Gasperini's high man-to-man for press, look where Bastoni is on the top of your screen. That's Bastoni right there. And this is not from a set piece. Bastoni wins the ball high up. I think it was on Zeki Celik or someone else. Cuts it back to Mkhitaryan, who actually could have probably shot even as soon as he got it from Bastoni, but he hesitates, takes it towards the center, and then the usual Mkhitaryan finish, which ends up in rosette and hurts someone in the crowd probably. Oh, Mickey, if you could only just finish, Mickey. If you could only just finish, Mickey. And then was this the second half, first half? Because this Dumfries shot, this was probably, this was second half. So yeah, first half finishes. Apart from that, there wasn't much to talk about in terms of Roma chances in the first half. It was all the only chances Roma had in the first half were from set pieces, which were concerning. I thought today we were going to concede from a set piece because every time they had a corner or a set piece, either Cristante or Ndika or Hermoso, one of those guys would win the header. So I'm glad that we didn't concede from a set piece. But that was the first half. I thought solid Inter, nice performance, one of the best starts, I think, under Kivu. And then we start off the second half quite well as well. Big ball in behind, super high line from Roma's defense. Dumfries is 1v1 against Villa. Very, very poor finish by Denzel. Very, very poor finish. And yeah, he's a wing back, so I'm not expecting him to hit this top corner and finish amazingly. But this literally ends up in the middle of the goal, straight at Villa. Really, really poor. And we need to speak about Denzel. I spoke about it in my last reaction, which was against Cremonese. If you think about it, pretty much every single player this season in the starting 11 has had good games or a good start to the season. Akanji, apart from the Juve game, great start to his Inter career today also as well. Very accomplished and calm performance in my opinion. Acerbi, today there was one mistake, I think, especially for the Dybala chance that was on his head for sure. But in general, I think he did pretty decent. But yeah, he's at a decent start to the season. I think we're starting to see some chinks in the armor for sure now with the Acerbi, that maybe the Raya should be starting. Bastoni, of course, great start. Di Marco, we know, great start to the season. Hakan, we know now has been, apart from the first couple of stinkers, maybe, great start to the season. Barella, decent. Miki, decent. Lautaro, decent. Boni, great. This is one guy that I don't think I can say he has had one game, really. One game where I'm like, oh, this has been a great game from Denzel, or deserves a shout for man of the match. We're missing Denzel. We're missing Denzel at the start of this season. We've had Di Marco, even Carlos Augusto on that side has had a good start when he's played. We're missing a big performance from Dumfries today, and especially today against Wesley. You know, Wesley, who is a right wing back by trade, today was played out of position because Angelino was injured. A guy that's come in from the Brazilian league, 22 years of age, and he's been doing well, has adapted very quickly, unlike Luis Enrique. I tweeted saying, Luis Enrique, bro, please look at your Brazilian brother Wesley. This guy has come in. I know he's only got 5.9 here, but actually he was a thorn in our side today. He was good defensively, good going forward. He was annoying all game. He gave Dumfries a difficult game physically as well, even though he's tiny. He looks like he's like 5'6" or 5'7". He gave Dumfries a strong game physically. But you know, this guy, he's playing out of position today, right-footed, small wing back coming from the Brazilian league. Denzel, the real Denzel, would be eating this guy up for lunch. Remember how Denzel dominated the likes of Nuno Tavares last season at the Olympico? Yeah, I'm missing big game Denzel, especially in big games. Denzel usually steps up, so I'm a little bit disappointed in Denzel, and he was really poor in some defensive situations. Denzel today, Hermoso here, completely free header. We're lucky that he hit it straight. He bounced, he hit it to the floor straight into Sommer's arms. That was Dumfries' man, aerially as well. Denzel, he is one of our best players aerially, but he's like switched off here. And then here as well, this was also on Sommer because what is Sommer? Where is Sommer going? Or maybe he's just expecting. That's the thing. He's probably expecting Dumfries to win this header quite easily because it's Denzel versus Soule. Matthias Soule isn't small, but he's definitely not a header specialist. Denzel should be eating that guy up for lunch, breakfast, dinner in the air, loses that, and that goes to Dovbik, who misses a completely empty goal. So this is where, again, I feel like Inter have got away with a little bit lucky today with a win. I think definitely Roma deserved, in terms of the chances they got, they probably did deserve at least a draw. But Denzel is not just going forward. He's not impressing me physically, aerially, defensively. He's off it at the moment, Denzel. I don't know what it is. I hope it's not to do with anything about his, he admitted that he would like to play in the Premier League recently when he was with the Netherlands. He did get his new contract last season. I'm not sure. He has been bang average this season, Denzel. But the thing is with Denzel at the moment, because Luis Enrique isn't pushing him, maybe that's what he needs. Last season, or remember when Quadrado first, we signed Quadrado. He was a flop signing for us, Quadrado, but it seemed like it kicked Denzel, like it made Denzel go to the next level that season. And then last season, it was after the contract, really. It was probably like after January, after he signed his contract, it was like Denzel went to another stratosphere. He was one of our best players that season, last season. Second half, really. Again, he had a slower start to last season as well, but not this slow. This season has been really slow. Maybe I think even in this first ever season at Inter, I think he had a better start than this. I know he had some issues. Even the crowd started booing him in the first season because he had some bozo moments and stuff like that. But at least he was still showing things going forward. I don't think he has even got a goal or assist yet this season for Inter. Let me see. Oh, he had one goal against Slavia Prague. Okay. but no assists yet this season for Inter. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, maybe he's resting on his laurels a little bit. Um, hmm. He has 2 goals. Oh, which one did I miss? Oh, he scored against Udinese. Sorry, yeah, it was Fort Mob. Sorry. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll take it back. He got 2 goals. He's got one against Slavia, and I didn't press previous on Fort Mob. Is here against Udinese, which is the game that he also conceded the stupid penalty in, so it kind of cancels out. Um, but you know what I mean, yeah. Well, actually, he did play against Torino. Yeah, maybe I'm speaking too early. But I saw a few people tweeting it, but maybe it was speaking a little bit too early. But it has been a little bit of a quieter start to the season by Denzel, by his loftier standards, I guess. That might be it. That might be it. And how good DiMarco started. That's the thing. Like, I feel like that's what it felt like last season. I felt like it was. I talked about it a lot last season. It always felt like not the whole team was like hitting form at the same time, if you know what I mean. Like, it either be DiMarco, like, yeah, it's kind of is like last season. DiMarco, start of last season until like November, December, DiMarco was like MVP form for Inter. Then he dropped off really badly. Then after January, Dumfries started. But it's like, why can't we have both of our wing backs on form at the same time? Same with our strikers. Last season, Thuram started on fire up until about November, December. Then Lautaro got going, especially in the Champions League. But none of the two really ever were on fire at the same time. So I hope this season we can start at least aligning some of the form of these guys where they hit form at the same time. I hope that. I hope that. Oh yeah, the referee was pretty poor today for both sides, but in general, just it was a very physical game. But in some moments, the referee, the one that was stupid was Acerbi, where they called handball on him when Acerbi was coming out to block the shot, and he literally had his like arms like this, and the ball hits him. They're like, literally want to cut his arms off. Like, what can he do? The ball's literally pelted at him from 2 yards away. Um, yeah, yeah. No, of course, that is the thing. When you play for Inter, we have high standards, and Denzel, especially the way he ended last season, he has very high standards. But it's just like today, I felt like the matchup on that side. I thought it would have been the one where we could be doing a lot more. But it seems like maybe Kivu ball as well. It's a little bit different. It doesn't seem like we're really using or like trying to cross towards Denzel. Like, of course, how many goals you remember of like DiMarco or Bastoni crossing to Dumfries. It seems to be a little bit less that type of thing at the moment under Kivu because of our build-up is a little bit different now. So, yeah, let's give it some time. Let's see how that works out. Let me go back to some of the screenshots. Oh, Bastoni almost scored a cracker. What a volley this was. I think it was Wesley who blocked it or deflected it. Even with the deflection, it kind of almost went in from the angle behind. It looked like if he didn't block it, it was going in like in the opposite corner. And that was with his right foot as well, Bastoni. That was crazy. That would have been sick if he scored that. Love the 3-4-1. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Some people said he tried to play it in the Cremonese game. To me, it still looks like a 3-5-2 afterwards. Because I saw it was like Frattesi and Pio kind of sitting up. Maybe at some points it is like, I wonder if someone's going to ask him about it because it doesn't really look like to me a 3-4-2-1 at the end. I don't really not sure what you loved about it because we were suffering right until the end. I don't really see much of a positive to it. At the moment, we kind of have to do it because of we don't have the numbers up front. And Frattesi is having to play this role. But I'm not really sure. I hope they ask him about it because it still doesn't look like a 3-4-2-1 to me. It still looks like it just looked like he's put Frattesi up front as a striker. Dumfries with Inzaghi was like another striker with Kivu who's playing on the line. Yeah, I mean we're still very early on, Noor. there was plenty of times that we criticized Inzaghi in the way how he used Dumfries, because he used to perform way better for the Netherlands than he did for Inter. Then last season, it's finally started to click after January. And Inzaghi was there for 4 years. I know it used to be a big conversation in our fan base why Inzaghi isn't able to get the best out of Dumfries, as usually he plays for the Netherlands. So it's still early days for Kivu in terms of how he's using and learning how to use these players properly. But I think, yes, at the moment, it seems to be a little bit different how Kivu is using Dumfries compared to how Inzaghi was using him last season. Yeah, that could be it as well. We are a lot more vertical. But today, we saw it. There was that chance that Denzel had where he hit it straight at Zvila. Those types of chances, we still get those transition moments where he is high up. But if we look at like let's have a look at the average positions of the players, which Sofa Score will show. Yeah, you see, he's still very high. Denzel, he's at the same average height, or like slightly. DiMarco's a little bit slightly higher, but it's not like there was some games where, especially in the Champions League, where you'd see Denzel, the average map under Inzaghi was Denzel is like up here. Like against like Barcelona or some teams, like sometimes you'd see Denzel's average position was like up here, even higher than the strikers sometimes. But yeah, it shows definitely. But he's also like, we know his limitations on the ball as well. I think Kivu has seen it already. Like he's just not your guy if you want to build up from the back. I'm not sure if I liked, but there was interesting today. Kivu was using, especially in the first half, Barella was deeper than Hakan. There was a screenshot I took similar to this, really. This is at the end of the game. But Barella was really dropping, especially in build-up. We were almost emptying the midfield. And Barella was like dropping as like a right centre-back. And Hakan was nowhere to be seen. Like Zoma, you would see Zoma, Barella, Cherbi, or Bastoni in build-up. And Hakan, Mkhitaryan were nowhere to be seen. So we're kind of emptying the midfield to try and get the ball up to the strikers. It didn't really work that well, to be honest. Roma did very well with the man-to-man press. But it was interesting. And of course, then he ended the game as a regista, Barella, until Zielinski came on when Hakan was taken off. So it's interesting. Yeah, Kivu's definitely is trying some different things depending on the opponent, which is interesting to see. Similar to Inzaghi, it wasn't always Inzaghi always, of course, adapted to the opponent. But it's interesting to see what he tried today. I don't think I've ever saw this, what Kivu tried today, where Barella was literally the regista, but like offset, not like in the central position, like a right deep, like a right DM. And then Mickey and Hakan were like closer together on the left, a little bit higher up. It was interesting to see, a little bit different. On Roma side, they played Dybala as this false nine. I think it didn't really work, but then there was one time where it worked when he completely outdone Acerbi. So Dybala dropped deep, and then I think it was Wesley who gave the pass, or was it Pellegrini? Someone passed it behind to him, and Acerbi lost Dybala, and here Zoma saved us. Luckily, Dybala went near post. He didn't go far post. But yeah, still massive save from Zoma, because you saw Zvila conceded at his near post for the 1-0. So sometimes goalkeepers don't get the credit they deserve for a near post save, because it's easy sometimes to try to predict the guy, because 80% of the time I think a striker goes because they're told you should go far post, go to the furthest post to the goalkeeper. But sometimes they're cheeky and they try to sneak one in near post. So Zoma was their massive save. But yeah, this was probably the big mistake by Acerbi here. Outside of that, I think he had a decent game, Acerbi. But I think we're starting to see chinks in the armor with Acerbi. I think I would like to see De Vrij become the starter this season, to be honest. What else? Anything else? Oh, there was a big block here by Cherby. It was Zeki Celik, so not sure how good the shot was going to be in the end, but still, big slide tackle to block the shot that goes out for a corner. So still had some important moments at Cherby. We've talked about Dovbik's empty goal miss. We've talked about that. Yeah, those are all the screenshots really. Some of the pronunciation is Suila. Oh, come on, that's not that different from Svila. Okay, Suila. That better? Still don't see the real Zielinski that was promised. To be fair, Mattia, he came on. He only had what, like 10 minutes. Zielinski. He had the one. I'll give him. We have to give him that one massive moment where he got the ball as Baldanzi was ready to crack one with his left foot, and Zielinski got there before him and won the foul. So that was one. Yeah, he had the one duel. That's the 1 out of 1 that he won, and completed 3 out of 4 passes. So yeah, he's he's not my ideal guy to bring on. Like, if you're thinking about it, last few minutes of the game, you're holding on to a 1-0. He's not the CDM that I would want to bring on. But I saw the moment that Kiva wants to bring Barella off. It was a moment where we won the ball back, and then Barella just literally boom, kicked it, smashed it to the other side. And then I saw Kiva saying, yeah. And this is the thing with Kiva as well. Like, this is different to Inzaghi. Like, you can feel he feels the changes. Like, as soon as he sees like someone looking a bit tired or making decision making that's showing that he's mentally or physically fatigued, like that Barella moment where he just lobbed it to the other side, he's like, yeah, I don't care who you are, you're off. I was surprised to see Hakan off so soon, like 61st minute off. I'm not sure if maybe he played a lot for the Turkey national team in the break and he wasn't fully fit. I don't know. That one was a little bit surprising that he took him off so early. Lautaro, I expected. We know he didn't. He wasn't going to be his best today. He was okay. Lautaro today. He tried his best as usual. Worked very hard. Look at that. Won a lot of duels and things, but he wasn't as sharp as we know he could be after the international break, after the jet lag. We know that. Bonny, he was. I think he encompassed Inter. Like, he was massive in the first half. Bonny was winning his duels, winning fouls, was like learning how to cope with the Gianluca Mancini, who was tugging on his shirt, and Dika. They were fouling him a lot, winning fouls. And then second half, he had a drop off. He was starting. He lost a lot of duels in the second half. His decision making was a little bit iffy, and he started to look a bit laboured and fatigued in the second half. I think he encompassed Inter's performance. Bonny, really good first half, and then second half he kind of dropped off. Pio, he's only got 6.2 here, but Pio, really good impact by him. Had one really funny, clunky, like fake shot chop that he did. It was the clunkiest chop that I've ever seen in my life, but he gets involved in so much. He's like a magnet to the ball, and he's the one that created the opportunity for Mkhitaryan. That moment when Frattesi cut it back to Mkhitaryan, that was out of nothing, just because Pio kept battling against Cristante in the air. It shows here that he's lost a lot of duels, but even the ones he lost, he makes the other team like work for it. Like, you're not just gonna like win the duel against Pio and come out unscathed. Either you're gonna end up on the floor afterwards because he's like slide tackling you afterwards. He comes on, wins 3 fouls, but also commits 3 fouls, 4 recoveries. Yeah, he just needs. I want him to get his first Champions League goal soon, hopefully. But he's so good to have off the bench. Sucic was a little bit shy today off the bench. 3 out of 6 passes. Was a little bit soft in some moments. Got a yellow card, silly yellow card straight away. He needs to use his body a bit better. Like, he was getting bullied by tiny guys like Baldanzi off the ball. That was a little bit disappointing. Oh, Bonny won officially man of the match. Yeah, of course. Serie A, I think these Champions League as well, you always see the man of the match is usually given to like the goal scorer. Yeah, here he is the man who got us the 3 points 100%. I would give him the man of the match. But in my eyes, to me, I would give it to either Mkhitaryan, Bastoni, or Kanji, or Sommer as well. I would give it to Sommer as man of the match, to be honest. And shout out to DiMarco as well. I think he was pretty solid defensively. Not much going forward today. Usually he gets into the box a lot, has a lot of shots. Today he only had the one very poor volley that he tried. But outside of that, we criticize him defensively, but he was solid. Him and Bastoni kept. Sule is one of the most informed players in Serie A at the moment, and he did absolutely nothing apart from one decent shot that Zoma made a good save on as well. We kept Matthias Sule completely quiet today, thanks to the work done by these guys on that left-hand side. So shouts out to DiMarco, continues his good start to the season. Yeah. Bringing Frattesi and Zielinski to defend on the 1-0 lead is not really ideal, but it worked today. Today it worked. And you don't take Bastoni off as well, right? Like Inzaghi used to do at the end of last season. Yeah, 100%. It's good to see Zoma back in good form. I agree. What else is there to discuss? Carlos Augusto, he was okay. Not much, too much to talk about. Yeah, and these are the substitutes to make. Really, I wouldn't have brought anyone else on. That's the thing, you're not going to bring Andy Diouf on at this stage of his career, or Luis Enrique too. So these are the players that you have. So you can't really blame Kivu too much on that. In terms of Roma, yeah, no one really that impressive for them. As I said, I thought Wesley had a good game because I thought he was going to be a weak player for them, but he wasn't. Manu Kone, usual, good performance by him. Mancini, as always, he's a pain in the culo. Wins fouls somehow sometimes, but also gives away a lot as well. I don't know how he got away with no yellow card today, Mancini. The other two got yellow cards, but I don't know how Mancini got away with nothing. Yeah, and this guy had an interesting battle when he came on, Jan Zielkowski. They found another Polish guy to replace Zalewski, centre back here. He had a good battle with Pio when he came on, got himself yellow card straight away. Leon Bailey, actually, he had an interesting cameo. The loan signee from Aston Villa, Jamaican. He came on. He showed a bit of skill as soon as he came on. But yeah, guys, that's it from me. Happy with the 3 points. Happy that we're temporarily top of Serie A, which is after the doom and gloom that we felt, especially me after that Juve loss, it feels nice that we're here. But that's the bounce back that we wanted and expected from Inter, right? Because we had a bad start to the season. But again, we moaned, we pissed and moaned about the transfer window, but we know, even with no changes, just a couple of additions up front that we needed, this Inter team still remains good. Yes, we could have done more. We're going to keep saying that all season. We could have done more. We should have done more. But just because we are maybe mentally fatigued of seeing the same guys roll out week in, week out, it doesn't make this a bad team. And you can never put this team out of a title race, even if the coach is a rookie like Christian Kivu, who is proving himself to be a force to be reckoned with at the moment. Of course, it's early days. I'm not putting us as title favorites for sure at the moment. I still think Napoli are title favorites, and also Milan, in my eyes, with their 1 game a week, are still. I would put them, that energy level they will still have in the second half of the season for me will still be quite important. But as we should be, we are up there. We should be, regardless of our coaches. As I said, since the start of the season, we should be competing for the Scudetto, which is what we're doing right now. Tomorrow, of course, we will hate watch. What time are Milan playing tomorrow? Let's have a look. It should be the late kickoff, right? No, not Sassuolo. By the way, absolute stinker of the game, that one. I tuned into that, watched the first half, and then I was like, nah, can't be asked. Como Juventus, hopefully Fabregas can do something against those guys. Oh, Atalanta Lazio, that'll be a good game. And yeah, Milan Fiorentina, 7:45 p.m. kickoff. I'll try to tune into that. Thank you, everyone that tuned in. Appreciate your support. Thank you, Eduardo, for the donation. Thank you to all the channel members as well. I always try to highlight the channel member comments as much as possible because you guys support the channel in many ways. So really appreciate that. But everyone else as well, really appreciate you all. Every single comment, every single thumbs up is very, very much appreciated. Or even if you're just watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Ciao ragazzi, Forza Inter, Forza Yann Bonny. What a player. Ciao.